This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But
folks?
if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 110. I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer, coming to you once a month now, apparently.
That's what we got. It's May the 2nd, 2021. Find us at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Our Take Pod, or just go to theourtakepodcast.com. So, May 2nd, 2021, on this day in history, in 2011,
I remember that year.
Osama bin Laden was killed by a U.S. commando.
I remember that night. I was sitting in my apartment with Brent and Jimmy, and
Was it really someone named Jimmy?
yeah, he had a roommate named Jimmy for like 3 years.
Huh. That just seems like a movie name. Like, it's me and Jimmy.
It's true. It's true.
I was delivering pizzas for Domino's.
I was no longer working for Damahos at that point. I was at Smith's.
I did not have a smartphone, but somehow I was able to. My phone was able to get radio frequencies at the time. I could listen to radio.
Whoa!
Right. So I listened to Osama's
speech. I have been killed.
and then I called Kurt.
Yeah,
Because-
because you thought Kurt maybe was the one that did it.
No, Kurt's a medic in the Army.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "Just a good day to be an American." I miss Kurt. Anyway,
Is he?
he's in Texas.
Is he dead?
Just haven't seen him.
Jeez.
Let's see. In 1982, on this day in history, the British Royal Navy sinks the Argentinian cruiser General Belgrano. I prefer Argentine over Argentinian, but that's just me. 323.
Is there a proper way to say that?
I think when you're referring to the people, they're Argentine.
Oh.
I think. I don't know.
You know what? We'll go ahead and finish that.
So the British Royal Navy sinks this cruiser, the General Belgrano. 323 lives were lost in the attack, more than half of the total number of Argentinian casualties during the Falklands War. The British Sun tabloid newspaper commented the controversial attack with one of its most notorious headlines, "Gotcha."
Wow.
Yeah. Have you watched The Crown?
No.
This is in The Crown.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Argentina was trying to take over the Falklands or something like that.
I mean, I know of the Falkland War and how
Yeah.
it's frowned upon.
Hey, man, there's always one for flight. In 1952, the jet age begins with the first scheduled flight of the de Havilland Comet 1.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Is that's the one with the square windows, isn't it?
I don't know.
So
Precisely 1 year after the maiden flight from London to Johannesburg, a Comet 1 crashed due to structural problems, killing 43 people.
if you've ever wondered why your windows are round in an airplane, you can thank the de Havilland Comet.
Really?
Because the square windows caused it's a
Like drag or something?
no, it just fall apart. Like it just couldn't hold together.
Interesting.
Yeah, there it is. It's actually a pretty cool looking plane. The engines are like built into the wings
Yeah.
instead of how we have them now, where they're hanging down.
I want to see.
And
Comet 1.
Yeah, they had big square windows. I can't remember exactly what happened. I just know that the square windows are why it.
Is this it?
Yep.
The Comet 1. This guy? That's a rendering, I guess.
Yeah, all those right there.
How come these windows look round?
They're not. Open that up bigger.
Ah. Isn't that weird? Optical illusion.
Yeah.
The engines, I see what you're saying. They're built right in. Instead of
Actually, yeah, that plane looks like a 787. The front of it does. That's crazy.
instead of dangling from the wing.
Yeah.
Why
They
did-
were ahead of their time.
Well, could they fit less fuel because of that, though?
I'm guessing that's why.
I
they
don't
switched it out
understand.
now, but I
I'm
have
sure
no idea.
that you've explained it to me before, but I don't understand how planes can hold enough fuel.
Well, the fuel's in the wings.
I know. It just doesn't seem like enough. But
Well, I mean, I think that
what's the miles per gallon?
I think that it seems like it's not enough until you actually
Fill up a wing?
until you actually stand up next to one of the planes and realize how freaking massive they are.
Right.
Because, I can go down to the hangar and stand around the planes whenever I want. And
Yeah.
we have small planes. We have the ERJs and the CRJs, and they're still like, wow, this is huge.
Yeah.
And you just don't realize until you actually get up on them and you realize that not only there's fuel in the wings, there's also kind of fuel under the
Right,
under
in the
the
belly.
Yeah. So
It's just they go so far.
I mean, have
know?
you been in you've been in a wide body plane when you went to
Yeah.
England? Those things are big.
Right. We're also flying across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just one of those things
Well,
that you're like, I don't know how it goes that.
speaking of fuel
Yeah.
and space and airplanes,
Space fuel.
space fuel. Did you know SpaceX launched?
Again.
Yeah, I was going to go, but I couldn't
Yeah.
because of work and what have you. But
And they did a splashdown.
they came back last
Yeah.
night at night. And I want to ask you, see if you know the answer to this question. But, a lot of sci-fi movies and TV shows and what have you, where they have the kind of engines we have now, where they're fire burning or whatever,
Right.
they have it where the engine's constantly on. Is that correct?
Say that again for the spacecraft we have now.
So if you look at I'm trying to think of a movie, I don't know, Star Wars, and you can see, the flame coming out of there,
Oh, it's always a glow.
and it's always on, always pushing them forward.
No, that's not accurate.
It's not.
Right.
It's not
There's no
accurate at
drag.
all. All you do, so I watched them undock from the space station,
Right. Just like
last night or whatever. Yeah,
That's it.
and it's actually pretty crazy. It's all these, they're just shooting
Right.
everywhere, right?
Right.
And it's all automated now. So I don't know how they did it before with that many.
Well, I think that if you're looking at Apollo and stuff,
Yeah.
there was still an amount of guidance.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think pulling the LEM out of the
yeah, that would
that was
be-
all manual.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy how many of the rockets are firing at the
Right.
same time. But so they do a burn, is what they call it, and that pushes them, gets them moving in a direction, and then they do another burn to get them moving in the other direction.
Right.
And that's and when they go to the moon, they do a one burn to get them all the way there, essentially.
Right. Translunar
And-
injection.
And the reason being is because they don't bring enough fuel to power the craft the whole way there.
Right.
But did you know that if they could, and if they could get up to 1G, then they would have gravity on their ship?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you could constantly be going, which is 32 feet per second, if you wanted to mimic Earth's gravity,
Right.
you'd have to be accelerating that fast permanently.
Right.
Which, if we come up with that type of fuel or that's better than the spinning method because it would also get us there faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
We watched Stowaway last night. It's on Netflix.
yeah. I've
Space
seen
show.
it. Should I watch
Anna
it?
Kendrick. It's good.
Oh, she's hot.
They're going to
I
Mars,
find Anna Kendrick attractive. Is
Yeah.
that?
but they're going to Mars, and the craft they're going in does the spin for gravity.
Right. That's like the most commonly.
I know. Ashley's like, "Do we do that at all?" I'm like, "No, we've never done that."
That is. I think that is the plan for that space hotel, though.
That makes sense because they don't want that thing moving.
Right.
So if you want to be static in space, yes, you'd have to spin. But if
Yeah.
you're traveling somewhere,
At 1G, as long as you have constant acceleration, but
you'd
then
be sideways. It would feel weird.
I'm sure.
You look out the window, you have no frame of reference, so you wouldn't really know what direction you were necessarily traveling.
Right.
But you would be, essentially, you'd be standing parallel to the plane you're flying, like the plane on which you're flying, right?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
would that work?
Well,
Oh.
I know it's space though, so
I mean,
the floor that
Is
you're
there-
standing on is
is-
what's traveling forward.
is there gravity everywhere?
No, there's only gravity. There's only gravity against
Okay.
what's accelerating. It is weird.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Some Einstein, some Newton stuff.
But I guess if you kept accelerating, you would not. You keep going. I guess eventually until you reach the speed of light.
No, that's not possible.
Well, so you got close to it.
Yeah, you'd continually get closer and closer to it, but I think it would take a really long time.
Right, but
Let's
what
see.
they theorize with it is that you'd have to spend the first half of your trip accelerating and then turn around and spend the second half decelerating.
Which would also give you gravity.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I know.
I'm kind of interested how long it would take you. How long? How do I even phrase this to go the speed of light?
I know I've looked this up before.
At
It is something hard to phrase.
32 feet
I'm going to unplug my mic real quick. Just
'Kay.
don't worry about it.
per second. Spencer's having a struggle with his microphone cable. I found it. I found something. Just give me the answer, though. I don't want the math.
I hate it when they do that, when there's all these math equations on there.
Right.
Like, how fast is the speed of light? Well, it's da-da-da times to the, like, okay, just never mind.
Yeah, it's... Someone commented it would take less than 12 parsecs. Oh, man, that's awesome. Come on. Listen, this is dumb, okay? It would take a long time, okay? But you're right.
I don't know. I
If
can't
we were
remember.
going to Mars, you'd get halfway there and then you'd have to slow down.
Right.
Because that would be it
Speaking...
would take a crazy amount of fuel to slow down any faster, and it would kill you. Right? If you slow down too fast.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with warp speed is that
Right.
that you
we
would
haven't found a way to compensate for the G-force.
Yeah, well, not only that, if you're warping space, there's a potential of you wiping out whatever's in front of you with your
Right.
warp bubble, and
Which is what I remember they referenced that on Star Wars, that you have to they've mapped all the asteroids and
Right.
stuff.
right.
Because if you hit a speck of dust, which is the great filter. You ever heard the great filter?
Yeah.
How can I define it for you? It's basically the thing that stops us from going anywhere. Context of the Fermi paradox is whatever prevents non-living matter. Okay, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Undergoing. It's essentially like, have you heard of the Fermi paradox? Fermi?
Yes.
It's both the idea that if there was life besides us,
Mm-hmm.
we would have found it by now, and also if there was life besides us, we would not have found it by now. So it's a paradox or something, okay? Something like that. But then there's this idea of the great filter, which is what stops us from getting there, and it's just all these different things. And one of them is if you go too fast in space, a little piece of dust.
Yeah, that's why
Will
you
cause
have
your
to
ship to
develop
explode.
shields,
Right.
shielding,
Right.
like electronic superpower shields.
Something that, I mean, I don't know how shields
you
work.
gotta use miniature black holes. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of black holes, did you see that the Department of Defense confirmed another UFO?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Man, how did you not hear that?
DOD UFO. April 16th. Watch leaked photo.
They confirmed it. It's not leaked
Leaked
anymore.
video. Is this the same one that Tom
that's
DeLonge?
That's not the one. It's a different one. It's a triangle.
But this from April 16th, 2021.
I know, but I think they're just showing you.
An old one?
Yeah, 'cause
Oh
that's
my
not
gosh.
that's not the one.
Okay.
But so yeah, they confirmed another UFO, and yeah, man, I started watching.
When you say confirmed,
they confirmed that they don't know what the hell it is.
is that it? Is it that one?
No, that's the one we already know about.
No, the other one, the one we know about is the Tic Tac.
No, that's the one. There's two. There's the from that same Navy pilot. There's that one that was spinning around, and then they saw the TikTok.
TikTok?
Tic tac, tic tac.
When was this one? Give me a date. How hard is it to give me a date? Okay. Well, how come I can't find the new one then?
I don't know. Well, you got the
DOD UFO. Look at the pictures there. Tell me which one it is. It's none of these. New UFO. Okay. The Goodyear blimp.
no. Here it is.
This one?
It's that green thing.
This green thing?
Yeah.
It looks like it's in the sea.
It's not.
Flying through the sky has been confirmed by the Pentagon. Look at this guy. They put an arrow for us.
Oh, nice.
In case you couldn't see the anomaly. Where was this? Oh, over Melbourne. Well, I'd rather trust Australia than...
I thought it was one of our pilots.
UFO hunters claim to have spotted a triangular object over Melbourne.
Oh. So, yeah. I'm beginning to wonder, though.
I get suspicious when it's a group of UFO hunters. I'm like, nah.
Oh, yeah, I never believe those guys.
You know, that's like a Bigfoot hunter.
But no, the Navy confirmed. This is...
Right.
Once, yeah, anyway. Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder if they're... Is that me? That could be me.
I think it's you.
Freaking CNN.
CNN.
Anyway, I'm beginning to wonder if they're not UFOs, if they're time machines.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the...
I've heard of time machines.
Of, what's his name? Tim...
Cook. Tim Apple.
No.
Tim
John Teeter.
John Teeter?
Yeah, the time traveler from 2036.
Oh, yeah. Dude. John.
He's actually
How do you spell
Titor, I think. Titor.
Titor?
Yeah.
John Titor. This dude. Okay, let me put this up on this guy with the sunglasses. Yeah, I've seen this picture a lot.
Yeah, he actually has a lot of his predictions have come relatively true. It's kind of weird, actually.
Well, I need to know more now. I've just only seen photos. Bullet poster claiming to be an American military time traveler from 2036.
After a civil war.
Oh, man, that's scary. He made numerous vague and specific predictions regarding calamitous events in 04 and beyond, including nuclear war. Imagine if you were back for a limited amount of time. You're like, okay, I got to tell you guys what happens. Okay, you guys get in a civil war. There's a nuclear war. Then people are like, that's inconsistent.
Well, one thing that he does follow is the way time travel actually is or should be or could be is, movies get it super wrong. Some of them don't. But, like, Back to the Future, so dumb when you think about it. I mean, why do they go to the future to change the past? That doesn't make any sense.
Have you watched the movie?
Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't change the past from the future.
They have to, though.
You can't.
What are you talking about?
You can only...
Which one are you talking about?
The second one. You shouldn't... You can't go to the future and then change
That's not why they
your
went.
past.
The original, the very beginning,
yeah,
was a very simple task.
Marty had a black child, I know.
No, it was a very simple task that Doc had, which was you need to stop your son from doing this thing with Griff.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then it spiraled out of control from there. And Biff got a hold of the almanac.
Right.
And took the time machine back to 55.
Right.
Gave it to his older self.
Right. So you can't go. So they didn't go
to the future.
Once
to
you
change
leave
the past.
once you leave your time,
yeah,
you can't go back to that time. You're gonna go to whatever timeline you have just created. So if I went back in time and killed Hitler, then this timeline that we're on right now would keep going as it was.
Right.
But then I would start when I went forward. I would start a new timeline. And I would come back to a completely different civilization, completely different world.
Right, which was happened in episode 2.
Did it?
Yeah, remember? Because Biff got the almanac, made a bunch of money.
I know.
And it was like Trump was president.
It was, right?
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Listen, I'm not saying...
I can't remember. There's something in there that doesn't make sense.
I'm sure there's a lot of holes, but it happens with every time.
The John Titor theory is the correct... He uses the correct... time travel scenario,
or the most accepted by science. What is?
Yeah.
Is he still around? Is he? I
think he went back to 2036.
Did he really?
I think so.
Was it a pseudonym? Like, was he posting on channels? Like, what was it? What was his deal?
I don't know. I just read about him. Literally, I started reading about it.
And then you have to
late
think,
last night.
And then you have to think about. The John Titor Foundation published a book, John Titor: A Time Traveler's Tale, in 2004. Then you also have to think about this, like, if if you had a time machine,
Uh-huh.
unless they were bound by something we don't understand, why
Right.
would you go back to 2004?
He didn't. He went back to 1975
Oh, he did?
to get a piece of IBM technology they needed in the future.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to know more about this guy.
Now, but though that does beg some question though, because following the time rules, if he goes back in time to get that piece of technology, the people he leaves behind, there's no reason for them. Nothing's going to change for them, right? They're just going to keep continuing on with their terrible existence with.
And you're saying that his future would
But
change.
he'll go back and his future will change. So why would the military, which you said is what sent him, why would the military send him back in time knowing?
So you're saying the most acceptable theory for time travel is that whatever has happened, including the future?
Yes.
You're saying that,
No. Yeah, well, that's where it gets tricky.
right?
man.
Okay, how about this?
That means the future already exists, which it
Right,
does,
which
right?
it does?
It has to. If you have a time traveler, the future already exists.
Well, maybe traveling to the future is impossible.
No. Isn't that the one? No, you're right. The Hawking's theorized that
You can only go backwards.
you can go backwards.
Could you go to the present, as in like where the universe is now? You know what I mean? Like, here's what I have. I have a picture in my head of the universe expanding,
Right.
and the edge of the universe is essentially where time is now.
Right.
If I was at that edge, which we're at that edge now,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of time, if I left that and went back, could I then come back to this time, or to the edge, to the new edge?
Yes. I think
So if I'm gone for a day, I can come back to the new edge.
Yes, but it's not going to change unless you change something. Then
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I
so
mean, let's get.
if
If I went back in time,
if someone dies and you want to save them, you could go back one day and save them, but
and then you would have to travel back to the edge.
then that timeline I believe would just continue with you not in it. So people would wonder where you went missing for the rest of their lives.
Okay, so you're saying I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I'm not sure I agree.
And I think
You're saying when Marty McFly went from 55 to 85, that there's a separate 85 that's happening without him,
right.
but all the people are with him still. Would he be? Are you saying that he
It's just
should?
an alternate universe now. It's an alternate reality. There's so many different realities. It's the
So,
Rick and Morty
Let's go.
theory,
Let's go simpler here.
where there's just tons of there's endless realities because every decision that you make
You're saying that
generates an opposite.
if my chair right here was a time machine,
Okay.
and I went back exactly, not as it doesn't even matter. I went back a year and cut off your finger, and then I zipped right back here as if I had never left.
Right.
You would just have all of a sudden your finger would be gone. But you're saying I wouldn't be able to come back to this chair.
Wait. Hold on.
I would be in a separate
So
universe
if
where you
you
still
went-
have a finger.
If you went to that, okay, hold on. Your chair's the time machine.
Yeah.
You said you go back in time,
I go back a year and cut your
cut
finger
my
off,
finger off,
and then I come.
and then if you come,
You're saying I can't come back.
well, that's up in the air. But if you can come back, then yeah, my finger's gone.
Right, which is the
And
Marty
you've
McFly
you've been no, you come back, and as long as you come back
at the same exact time.
right, then yes, my finger's missing,
Right.
and as far as knowing your whereabouts for the year, though, I guess it plays out the same
Well,
as
no,
long as you
like,
don't kill
If I
your
can't-
other
right.
other self.
I would never. You can't see yourself, right?
I don't know.
I don't
mean,
know.
That's
But if I came back to the exact same second, exactly,
right,
you wouldn't even see me leave my chair.
right,
Your finger would just be gone.
yeah,
But one of your theories is that I couldn't come back here. I would be then transported to a different reality.
right,
But would I have disappeared from my chair to you?
yeah.
So I would just.
You'd
You'd be like, Brian's gone,
yeah, basically, right, and we just wonder where you were.
but your finger would still be okay.
yeah,
It's Spencer B, who I cut off in my reality now.
right.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that theory.
I know it's a tough one.
You know who we need here? Danny. Danny's really good at explaining these things.
Or like a mathematician,
yeah, I mean he's like that.
Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah, it's like when Ashley was in college, she learned about relativity,
And
she's tried to explain it to me like 3 times.
No.
And every time I'm like, I think I got a handle on it. And the next morning, I'm like, I don't get it.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Einstein was an idiot.
I think he was completely wrong.
Oh, goodness. Well, that took up like half the show. So there I was the other day. We're I'm going to do more research on Titter.
Yeah.
And we're going to we'll
come back to
We'll come back to this on the next episode for sure, cuz this kind of stuff fascinates me.
Yeah.
And I also just watched a new UFO documentary that kind of dives into the same thing, thinking that these ships that we see may actually be time machines, not...
When did the world find out about Titter, though? So he went back to 75, but when did he tell us who he was?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Because maybe this was just a giant plug for Terminator. He had to go back and get that piece of technology from...
It is... You gotta read further and see how some of his predictions are like
Nostradamus, like
sorta, yeah, but like
Matt Groening,
like I think he made most of his predictions in like 99 or 2000.
Okay, and now he's gone back to 2036.
I guess, but like some of his predictions were like YouTube, the way that we ingest media now. And how we would push aside traditional media and we'd start doing our own thing, and
which we do,
which we're doing right now.
We're doing right now, like, as we speak.
Anyway, we gotta. We'll don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're gonna be John Titter experts.
I would put yourself in his shoes, though.
Okay.
If you had a time machine that you could go back to like 1980,
right?
What would you tell?
Well,
what would you tell
theoretically, you shouldn't tell anybody anything, right?
That's true.
Because that's going to mess up your future.
But if you were going to prove that you were a time traveler, what information would you give them?
Shoot.
What if you went back and you're like,
I don't know, because
what if you went back and you're like, listen, George Bush Sr. becomes president, but because you told everybody that, he didn't?
Well, no, that's why you can't do that. Like, that's where it gets tricky, because...
They should make a movie about that. It's a comedy.
If you want your future to be the same, it's not going to be exactly the same regardless. Something you do is going to change something.
Right.
The butterfly effect. Something's
right.
going to do something. But if you tell anybody anything, like, imagine telling someone how to stop 9/11.
Yeah, no.
Which, you think, yeah, that'd be great, right? But we don't know. What if because we stopped 9/11, the terrorists doubled down their efforts and then let off a nuke in New York City, and
like we killed Bin Laden, and it just let some other weed spring up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where you can't. It's
a risk.
Right.
It's a 50-50. If you go back in time to try and stop something bad, it could get worse.
Next thing you know, you're going to see another version of yourself saying, "Hey,
don't back.
Tell them about 9/11."
And then a third version of yourself saying, I'm going to come tell you not to tell them. You got to tell them.
Basically.
I think we're at the last version of this.
There's actually have you seen the Family Guy episode where that happens? They go back to the first episode of Family Guy, and Brian stops 9/11. And anyway, it's seriously,
awesome.
they all get together, and then Stewie just kills one of them, and they all go back to their regular. Anyway, it's funny.
Oh man.
Anyway,
all right, we got to reset.
That was too deep for.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long episode. I'm worried. Maybe tune out now, or I don't know. So there I was the other day driving to work like I do every day now.
Yeah.
It's a 30-40 minute commute, and people were being idiots on the road, and I started thinking to myself, how stupid is driving?
It's dumb.
How dumb is it that we're in this vehicle that's, super powerful, a crushing machine.
Yeah.
And we're on the road with thousands of other people, and we're all trusting them to not be stupid.
Yeah, if someone said to you, hey, I have an idea. What if we all got in a steel box? Right. Everybody had their own. And we all start going as fast as we can.
Right.
And then someone said, hey, do you think we should, strap ourselves into the steel box?
No.
What would you say? I feel like I would say no. I'd be like, no, I want to be able to.
I want to be able to.
I want to be able to bail.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Every time I think about that pretty much every day that I'm driving to work as well.
I think, we've talked about before what people will look back on our time and be like, that was barbaric.
Yeah.
I think that
Commuting.
driving cars is going to be like, wow, those people were brave. They were brave,
Yeah,
brave
balls of
people.
steel. It's like the pioneers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. That's exactly.
true.
They're going to look back at us and be like, wow. They
Let me tell you a story
We're
about
going to be heralded as
Right.
we're going to have monuments to us drivers.
Let me tell you about a young man named Spencer Rogers. He worked for a small regional airline and commuted to work 40 minutes each way. And people were going to be like, fuck, man, I would have never
40
done that.
minutes.
I never would have.
And he
I never would have converted to
and
the
he
church.
never had an accident until he was 37.
There's no way I would have belonged to his society.
Yeah. Seriously though. And then that same day, as I was driving, realizing that everything that we're doing is stupid and we need driverless cars right away.
We need a pneumatic tubes or whatever
Yeah.
Elon's doing.
Yeah. I was listening to the radio, and apparently, I think last week, the state troopers, Utah state troopers,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's what they're
Highway
called.
Patrol.
Highway
Yeah.
Patrol.
Yeah, they're troopers.
Did a big crackdown on texting and driving,
Right.
and they pulled over some like 200-something cars in a couple days.
Wow.
And but they only gave like 8 of them tickets.
What?
Now, how much do you think? Do you know how much the ticket is for texting and driving?
My first guess would be like $100.
Yeah, that's the maximum.
Okay.
Is $100.
Right.
Now, how many statistics have you heard that texting and driving is as or more dangerous than drinking and driving?
All of the statistics
Right.
point to that. Yeah.
Right. So how is it that a DUI will get you a $10,000 fine and
Or a
possible jail time,
felony, right?
and getting your driver's license revoked, but texting and driving is just, hey, don't do that again. Or here's an $80 fine.
That is an unbelievably good point. Like, I can't even fathom how good a point that is.
Right?
Because my mind immediately went to, well, alcoholism. Well, people are addicted to their phones.
Right. Tell you can ask me as I'm on TikTok at 12 o'clock watching
think
stupid videos.
They're going to start to prosecute people who are texting people who are driving. Like
you enabled them, like the person that gets overserved at the bar. You knew he was drunk when you served him and let him drive home.
he's on the stand. Did you?
You
Did
knew.
you or did you not text him while he was on his way to your house?
I didn't know. I thought he was at a red light.
I just wanted a beer.
So I don't know that.
That's a really
That
good
blew
point.
my mind that we I just don't understand where we have deadly accidents with this.
Yeah.
And is it the cops text and drive a lot. In fact,
They type and drive.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I was with Riley, he was on his computer a lot.
Yeah.
Not that I felt unsafe, but I was like, huh.
Have you seen the video of it's a guy with a helmet cam. He's on his bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
He's at a T intersection, okay?
Uh-huh.
And he's facing the top of the T. He's waiting to turn left.
Right.
Right? And there's a white SUV turning left in front of him.
Uh-huh.
And it just turns it's like it takes forever to happen. It's going so slow. It just turns right into the biker.
Oh.
And the biker's like, "What the fuck, man?" And it's a cop. And he was texting.
Ah.
And I was like, can you imagine the sinking feeling of not only did I just lose my job, I almost just killed this guy. It's seriously like a slow motion wreck. You're like, oh. Yep, he just hit him. Yep, and that's a cop. That sucks.
So I don't know. That just seems super weird to me. I mean, right? I mean, what?
So should we
Especially-
make the penalty for texting and driving stiffer?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
the penalty for drunk driving
Lower
less? Yeah.
No, I think the penalty for texting and driving should be enough to scare you away from ever doing it.
There should probably be a strikes rule like there is with DUI.
There might be.
A texting and driving strikes.
I thought I saw somewhere that after you do it a couple times.
And maybe not even. And it could still be
know.
stiff. It could be like first offense, no license for a month.
Yeah, I
Right?
just think $100.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a little amount of money, but it is.
We want
it's
to
not going to
disrupt-
break too many people, and
The only options we have as a society really are to punish. So You can't drive for a month on your first offense. Second offense, you can't drive for 6
If
months.
you're under 18, you lose your license for a year.
Yeah. Third offense, if you ever get caught with a phone in your car.
Open phone.
Yes, open phone carry. There's going to be a special place in your trunk that like is surrounded by lead, so no signal can get to it.
I noticed your clamshells open in the back.
And you know how they have,
and your phone too.
and you know they'll have like the breathalyzers that make the key. And if it senses phone radio frequencies, your car won't start.
We're getting some phone waves off your breath.
Yeah.
Your fingerprints are clearly smudged on that.
Man, you know what? Speaking of law enforcement technology,
Yeah.
I've seen a few TikToks lately of people with ankle monitors, and they have like a beacon by their front door, right?
Okay.
And then someone can call them through their ankle monitor. Like if they think they've left, they call it, right?
How do you answer?
You just say hello. You got to somehow get it to your ear. No, it's like a speakerphone. But I've seen all these TikToks lately of someone will they'll just watching a movie and all of a sudden be like, Mr. Johnson? And he's like, yeah? We just got a warning that you've left your house. He's like, I'm literally watching a movie right now. And they're like, oh, okay. And apparently, I'm not jumping to this conclusion. But the reason I've seen these is because apparently this has been used against defendants when they have no other proof.
Of course.
So, like, the technology said you left your house. You're like, I swear I didn't leave my house. So now they're recording every time they get a call.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, so they can prove it. I'm like, we really can't figure out ankle monitor technology, or are they just actively trying to cheat the system to screw these people over?
Could be either one.
It really could. Yeah.
I mean, my phone can tell me where I'm at, and it.
Yeah, like down to like 3 feet.
So I don't know if maybe the ankle monitors just need the latest iOS update or something.
They're freaking huge, and the freaking beacon is like this big box by your front door.
Oh.
Anyway,
Is that what that new thing is out on your patio?
You'll notice I wear knee-high socks.
If you had an ankle monitor, would you want something on the other side to balance it out?
I'd put a weight.
Another fake monitor over there. So
I'd put a weight on it. Yeah.
So maybe if people ask you what it is, you're like, oh, it's space age running
I'm
technology.
just exercising. Mr. Johnson? I got to go.
Speaking of driving and Teslas and
self-driving.
I want a Tesla. Have I told you that? Or I just want to... Actually, you know what I saw the other
Getting
day?
that Cybertruck that's right back there.
Yeah. You know what I saw the other day is the new Mustang, whatever is out. It's driving.
What do they call it? The
Mustang Echo Edge or something. I don't know.
the pony? I don't know.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool.
They are cool.
Expensive, though, which is always the problem with these cars. Anyway, Elon.
Drag races are going to be just completely different going forward. They're going to be quiet events.
It's going to be a way to hide from the cops easier.
So
Elon Musk is going to be on next week's episode of SNL as the host.
Oh, man, dude, that guy, he can't get through sentences, man.
He's kind of. They better have their hand on the bleep button or the
like
dump button.
Listen, he is brilliant, probably the smartest man
right.
of our time,
possibly.
But have you listened to him like on a podcast or anything?
Yeah,
it's hard for him to put sentences together. I think his mind is going so fast.
Could be.
Or he's high. I mean, one or the other. But.
Yeah, doesn't that slow you down? If he smoked weed, maybe that would make him.
Sometimes when I watch him talk, I'm like, dude, come on, like just spit it out. Like, let's go. You know. Anyway.
So yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. I know that he's done several cartoons. He's done all the major cartoons. He's done Simpsons. He's done South Park and Rick and Morty. I guess he hasn't done Family Guy or American Dad, but
maybe he's good when he's reading. Then
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's easier to.
It is. That's why we have them. Cue cards. Yeah.
But what I found interesting is the cast members. Some of them are not happy about this and are like, they put up such a fuss about it that they're not being forced to appear. So there may be cast members that are just not on this episode.
What?
And I'm not really sure.
Of all the hosts.
They've had Trump on there before. They've had Sarah Palin on there before. What?
What? Yeah. Have they said? Or is it
Um,
just like some? Was it just the headline like some SNL? Just
No. There's been several of them actively on Twitter, saying how they don't want to do it, or they're not happy about it.
What could be your problem with Elon Musk?
I guess it's because he's rich.
Here, let's see. I'll go to The Hill. I have an article here from The Hill. SNL cast members who object to Elon Musk won't be forced to appear on the show. Saturday Night Live will not reportedly force cast members to perform. Blah, blah, blah. Let's find out just how live Saturday Night Live really is.
Oh yeah, so he said that, and then one of them was the Yang. I can't remember his first name.
Oh, Musk wrote that. Let's find out how
Bowen
live
Yang.
it really
Yeah.
is.
And then Bowen Yang was tweeting, "What does that mean?" And then 80 Bryant said, "Let's see,
The 50 wealthiest people. Okay, so 80's opposed because he's so rich.
which
He's the third richest person in the world.
okay,
Bowen Yang is pissed because of this cryptic tweet.
there just seems to be this huge weird movement, and I'm just
Oh,
like,
you know what?
huh,
There's other stuff.
Huh.
Do you remember like the Free Michigan tweet?
no, did he do that?
He's been opposed to the response to COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he referred to the reaction to the coronavirus pandemic as dumb, and wouldn't comply with California coronavirus restrictions to close his Tesla plant.
Oh,
So he's made himself a little bit more political than he probably should have.
I see.
But he tweets a lot.
Nonetheless, I mean, everything he says is kind of crazy, so it's not like
Yeah.
this is unusual.
But as for like a live sketch show,
He's never struck me as funny. Like, I can't imagine it's going to be a great episode. The rest of the cast are going to have to carry him.
well, yeah, I mean, there have been some. That's sometimes what makes it funny is that the host is so bad.
But I don't know. It just seems weird that this is the rock they're choosing to make a stand or die on. It just is like this guy. I could see if they had like Don Jr. or something on there,
Yeah.
but or Rudy Giuliani.
I guess he doesn't get a lot of shit for being so rich the way that some other people do.
I'm guessing it's because of all the other stuff he does, like
Yeah.
SpaceX and everything, but I don't know.
Like that's why they don't give him so much
Like
shit
my
about
dad, my dad is super hates him because he feels like he's gotten rich off of the government, which potentially could be true.
Well, what part?
I don't know. His contracts with SpaceX and all the money he's gotten for.
Is your dad a conservative?
Oh,
So is he okay with Dick Cheney getting rich off the government?
probably.
Okay, and just
I don't
so
know.
defense
I don't know.
contracts
I don't
are
know.
okay.
He says he watches multiple news sources, but I don't know. He's also quoted to me
Well, it's fine, but you've got to be willing
when
to
I
hate.
said Tucker Carlson was crazy. He's also said, "Tell me where he's wrong," and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
anyway, he didn't have much ground to stand on that. He kind of backed away off that argument pretty quick.
I mean, if you're gonna dislike someone because they got wealthy off the government, then that has to be across the board, then,
Right.
which is like every defense contractor.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
love
know,
that.
school teachers.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know.
Got rich off of PayPal.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was his thing.
Yeah,
That's funny.
PayPal, man.
But yeah, I don't know. He seems fine to me. He's definitely done a lot of stupid things, like when he influences the market by saying that's.
I'm going to go back private.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got in trouble for that one.
Yeah. But one thing, apparently, everything he says keeps making Dogecoin go up.
Dude, I know. Dogecoin's going crazy.
And
I bought $200 more.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it just went up again last night.
Yeah.
To 38 cents. Down. I mean, the high was 47 cents. But mind you, I invested. I got 400 some odd shares when it was 0.005 cents.
Nice.
So,
Dude, it's him and Mark Cuban.
my equity right now in it is still only $164.
Yeah.
But that's because I sold a bunch when it was high, and then I rebought it when it went down to 26 cents again.
Yeah.
Which I'm debating doing today, but I don't know. I want to see if it goes up.
See where it goes down.
But what really bums me out is if I would have put $1,000 in there instead of SkyWest, then I would have like $70,000.
Oh man.
And that would have been sweet.
Which it's probably still true right now.
Probably.
Relative to other cryptos, isn't it still rather like?
Oh yeah,
it's super cheap.
Do you know how much Bitcoin is per? It's worth like $57,000.
Yeah.
So not that it's going to go up that high, but if it did, we'd be millionaires.
Yeah, I think I'm terrified. Well, I guess not terrified is a strong word, but I am worried about government response to cryptos and what it's going to do. They're going to outlaw it, and then it's all going to tank. People are going to lose a bunch of money.
I don't know if they would outlaw it because people are going to lose so much money.
It's true, but
I don't know.
It's got to be scaring the Fed.
Apparently,
the Fed has all control. Now they have no control.
Titter predicted this.
Did he really?
Apparently.
Wasn't it India? India outlawed
did they?
cryptos, I think.
Yeah, they're stupid.
India's in rough shape.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, I get the Times delivered on Sundays.
Do
here.
you?
And the headline today was worldwide case count was 800,000. A new record. So the world is setting new record high case counts.
Well, we've got the vaccine.
It's not going to matter. If the world keeps getting it and it mutates enough, our vaccines aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, I know.
But
we are sending vaccines
Biden's sending
places,
them places.
so
yeah.
hopefully,
India doesn't. There's a doctor who tweeted, "Send us oxygen." There's not enough oxygen in the hospitals.
Can they just pull it out of the air?
No, man.
Oh, okay. I don't know how that works.
Like our oxygen, it's like 12% in the atmosphere. They need the rich, pure
It's a
shit.
big country. Can't they just kind of dilute it? I mean,
Get some fans.
Yeah. Capture it in a bottle.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, so Elon Musk and Dogecoin, and I kind of want to drop $1,000 in there before Saturday Night Live and see what happens, but I'm kind of scared to do that at the same time.
Because if he says something.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's such a low investment. I mean, initially, I've made almost $200 on 0.09 cents. So it's and one thing apparently that is going to make Dogecoin go up significantly is currently on Robinhood, which is the app everyone uses now, pretty much.
Right.
You can't take out your Dogecoin. You can't.
On Robinhood?
Yeah, you have to sell it and then pull out cash, pull out dollars. So you can't withdraw Dogecoin onto anything.
Can you if I bought a Bitcoin?
No. No, that's Robinhood's
policy
problem right now. Well, it's not a policy, it's something they're working on fixing and changing. And once they do, that's going to make it a more viable currency and it's going to go up.
That if I own enough equity in the company, I should be able to withdraw the currency in which I'm investing.
Right. Because you're not actually investing in the company. You're buying
Dogecoin.
Right.
I don't know.
I know it's kind of confusing, but
it's super confusing. And then you got the whole NFT thing.
That one's really above my pay grade. So I don't know. Hold on to your doggy coin. See what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we can. I mean, the people who had Bitcoin, they're so rich.
So rich. So I mean, yeah. For all we know, it's like the 2005 of Bitcoin or whenever it came out for Dogecoin right now.
I mean, if you had,
would there ever be a way to combine them? Because all we're doing is creating all these different currencies again.
I don't know.
It would be like if every state decided to have like a Utah dollar.
If you had 1,000 shares or 1,000 Dogecoins when they were just worth about $1 each, you'd have $57 million now.
Shut up! Wow! Shut up! Makes me sick. Can we just end the show?
No. So go Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Let's get up there.
Yeah.
Let's get up there.
Let's start a campaign like what the people did with.
Did you know they tried last when it was surging?
Yeah.
It was like a big thing on Wall Street bets and everything. Like, let's get Dogecoin to $1, and it went down that day to like 30 something.
Like, did hedge fund managers try to do it, or was it a Reddit campaign?
I think it was a Reddit campaign, but it was
for GameStop.
Yeah.
GameStop style.
Yeah. One more thing before we get into serious news.
Yeah.
Like Kanye. Now, helicopters. I learned something on TikTok today that I was not aware of.
Okay.
From one of the helicopter pilots I follow on there for the Army.
Was it hovering?
Not at the time. What?
I know. I saw a video that was about hovering, and it was an Army pilot.
Oh yeah,
about
probably.
how hard it is to hover.
Yes, he did do one about it. It's that same guy.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but on helicopters, I'm trying to see if I can send you a picture.
The blades actually spin.
Yeah, that's true.
It's sometimes they're going so fast, it just looks like they're not there.
But they have these giant horn-like things that protrude below the blades. Hold on.
Wait.
Type in wire strike protection system.
Wire strike?
Yeah.
Protection system.
So they have these giant horns that kind of look like radar antennas.
Okay.
In fact, that's what I thought they were because they look very similar to the
like
ones
that
on.
right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this guy.
Yeah, but if you go down to that diagram, which is a little further down, right?
This guy?
No, on the left there.
This one?
Yeah. It's actually a razor blade that will cut power lines.
Get out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I see right here.
Yeah, it's meant to catch them, and it just follows down and it slices them just like a box, just like this thing right here. It's exactly the same
Yeah,
thing.
just like that. Is it? That's crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think of how electricity works right now. If you just hit one power line, nothing happens, right?
You got to touch multiple.
You have
I
to touch
believe, at
two
the same
power
time.
lines. And then even then, what would it
Well,
do to
it
a
shouldn't do
helicopter?
it should be grounded, so it should be because they can take lightning strikes, so it shouldn't.
But that's still just one. It's the whole bird thing. Like a bird can stand on a power line, but if both wings touch two power lines, they get zapped.
Right. I don't know.
But I guess if with this system, you're only running into one.
Hopefully.
Right.
That'd be the idea. But yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's
It's,
like, you know what this reminds me of?
Huh.
This reminds me of like the third brake light invention on a car. Like how many lives are saved?
Do you think lives are saved? When did that become a thing?
The
Like
third
the
brake
90s?
light?
Yeah.
Dude, so I took an IO psych class, industrial and organizational psych. And that's one of the main topics you learn about is that guy because it reduced rear end accidents by 50%.
Really?
Yeah. Having that third brake light because at night people
Oh.
couldn't tell the difference between high beam brake lights and regular.
I can definitely. That's not as much a problem anymore with the LED lights and stuff that we have that are significantly
super bright.
brighter.
Right.
But yeah,
But
that's definitely that makes sense.
You do notice though, like I don't know, if someone's braking in front of you, like on the freeway, and they don't have a third brake light, it's almost like it takes longer.
You
to
know,
register.
in other countries, they've approved. It might be England. They have the flashing one.
Yeah.
I don't think they're allowed. You see them here.
Like it blinks like 3 times when they first press
all
the brake.
Volkswagens have that. But there's another couple countries that have it where they blink in accordance to how much you're slowing down.
That
so
was
like,
my idea.
If you slam on the brake, it's like
Yeah, that was
flashes
my
like crazy.
idea.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Sucks
like
to be
you just kind of lightly tap the brake. It's like bing.
Yeah,
bing,
yeah.
Bing, bing. But if you like on it, it's like zzz.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not allowed here for some reason because
Yeah.
we like to wait.
It's we can't afford that switch.
Yeah. How much could that possibly?
Yeah,
increase?
I thought of that. That and you know what? Fine, I'll say the other one. A U-turn blinker. That should be a thing.
That should be a thing. I don't know how you do that, but
It's just a U.
just a whoop.
Just a U on the top in the middle or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So if you're in the left lane
Mm-hmm.
needing to make a U, or if you're pulled over on the right, you need to make a U.
Where do you put that on the switch? You got up, down, and then you got the
We
brights.
make a
the
new
brights.
switch because
So you got to reach somewhere else.
we'll
Like
put it next to the hazard. Next to the hazard.
oh,
You know what was a really dumb placement for the hazard back in the day? Maybe some cars still have it.
Huh.
Was like through the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you had to reach through your steering wheel.
It's true. Now it's easy access.
Yeah. Like, what if you were coming up on traffic? You're like, oh, I should let these guys know, and you reach through, and right then you have to turn.
I'm sure that's why they changed it.
Right.
Someone probably
Right.
did that. You know what I invented was the wire strike protection system for helicopters.
Right.
And here it is. I was like, hey, why don't you put a razor blade at the top of that
Right.
that cuts through power lines?
Unfortunately, you can't patent a razor blade, so you made no money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh, well.
else, they just put it on there. So,
Kanye.
dude, Kanye breaking records with his shoes. That's not what this story's about, though.
His shoes? He has shoes now?
Dude, Kanye.
Is he
had-
still married or is he like
No.
with a guy, girl, something?
Kim filed for divorce.
Didn't he have some weird affair with a
I don't know, man.
with a not necessarily a trans person, but I don't.
Did he? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
okay.
But Walmart, I don't know if they did or did not, but they almost didn't pick up his shoe because of the logo. Check this out. Look at the screen there.
Right.
Which one's Walmart?
Well, I know that the one on the left is Walmart.
And that's Kanye's. It's just an asterisk, really.
Yeah, I don't know if you can take someone to court for having something
Well,
that's
And Walmart wasn't going to sue. The limited reading I did was that they were like, I don't think we want to carry your shoe because your brand.
It says that Walmart filed to stop.
Well, they must have had a contract to sell the shoes, and now they're filing to stop it.
Oh.
Because they're saying, Kanye, your brand could make our brand look bad,
Yeah, that's true.
right? We don't want your mark
That is factual.
associated with our mark. But I do wonder, like, in the design of this,
If maybe he could have come up with something a little more creative.
Yeah.
Or,
like, just do a W, man. Your last name is West.
it's true.
Do a compass.
You know, I get this when I make logos for people. Maybe I've said this before, but I get people who want to add too much
Yeah.
into a logo.
Yeah.
Like I had this. I'll have to show you when we're done recording here. This guy that eventually just kind of gave up on me because I just was like, I can't do what you want, man. It's not possible. And it started off with a really cool logo, and then he kept adding and adding, and by the end of it, I was like, this is a joke, man. Like,
Yeah.
are you for real? And I was like, we need to go back to the drawing board and try something simple. And I even sent him, like, you know, FedEx's logo, FedEx's logo is very simple, but there's some things in there, like the arrow. Have you seen the arrow in the FedEx logo?
Yeah.
That make it stand out or make it cool, making people know what it is. Or Nike, you know,
Right.
the Nike logo it's so simple,
Right.
right? And I mean, not that this is complicated, but I don't know.
Someone in the
Just
boardroom.
a W would have been fine,
Right. Someone in the boardroom had to have thought, I bet you
Or-
someone's
or-
using an
Or
asterisk.
like a compass pointing west,
Right, a compass,
or something.
yeah.
You know,
It'd be rad.
with
West.
a last name West, there's a lot of things you
There's
could
a
have done
lot.
besides whatever the hell this is.
Well, even his Yee, like, you know what I mean? He could just,
Yeah.
just do that.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say that when Walmart brought this out, I still don't get it. Like, this hasn't always been Walmart's logo.
Well, and I don't think that their problem is that it was our logo first. It's just that look, man, it's just too close to ours, and sometimes your brand can make others look bad.
Sometimes you say things that are really, really stupid.
So I don't think it's their claim like, no, it was ours first, you get to change.
What
It's more like,
happened to
we don't want to carry
What
your
happened to
shoe.
the smiley face at Walmart that was lowering prices?
The rollback guy.
They can't show him anymore because he's actually really sad because he's still working for Walmart.
He got no
he
health.
makes the same amount he made in
He's got no health care,
in
man.
the 80s.
I don't know. Maybe it was too close to the Amazon smiley.
No, they changed in 2008. They went from the Walmart with the star in the middle to this new one
Oh,
with
the
a
star.
with a simpler,
There is
more
a
friendly font. That's what this whole thing is.
there's a community Walmart near us. I think still has the star on the sign
Where?
up on like Skyline there.
Ooh.
I think. I feel like I've seen the star. Like it was like
supposed
wall.
to be gone in 2008.
Is it a wall then the star then
Yeah,
marked?
yeah. And
I
it used to just have a dash, and their colors were brown. I remember that too.
Huh.
I've been around since Walmart was not a big thing.
It's true.
It used to just be a little.
Speaking of logos, you didn't show your shirt.
Oh yeah, one of our. Because remember, I am on a campaign to wear a different shirt every episode.
Yeah.
Which has actually been quite easy since we've only been doing them once a month.
Let us know if you want. This shirt's cool.
Yeah, I can put this up somewhere. It's because we're running for president in 2024.
Sherman Rogers 2024.
I made Brian president because I'm not that smart, so I figured I would be the Mike Pence of the situation.
I think it could go either way. That's the beauty of our campaign.
I don't think so. I don't.
Sometimes the vice president
I would
runs
prefer,
the show.
I'd prefer to be the Mike Pence. I get the nice plane, but I don't have
but
to really do anything.
According to conservatives right now, Kamala's running the show. And according to liberals in 2000, Dick Cheney was running the show. So the only president who really
Isn't
hasn't
it like
done
a pretty well-known fact that the vice president doesn't do anything? Like
According to-
people don't want to be vice president because it's like a.
According to Biden, when he was vice president, he said that, I think, about himself. But
In fact, I would venture to guess that when the presidents have been assassinated or whatever, the vice president's just like,
oh yeah,
oh no.
not what I signed up
This
for.
is not what. Except for Johnson, he came sleaze bag.
Well, he was involved.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, documentary, CNN documentary on, I think it's HBO Max.
Okay.
It's called 1968,
All right.
and it's all about the year 1968.
Okay.
It's fascinating because we look at this year as like the riot at the Capitol and everything.
The insurrection, please.
Insurrection
Yes.
at the Capitol. But did you know something similar happened with the Democratic Party, with the convention?
No. Tell me about it. In 1968?
Yeah, so a bunch of protesters stormed the Democratic convention, and they had to move it from Chicago.
Interesting.
And it was very similar to the kind of civil war that the Republican Party is having right now, and the Democrat Party comes off kind of sleazy, which makes me think that's the reason why so many of the boomers really think Democrats are wrong or bad or whatever.
Could be.
You got to watch it though. It's very
I
good. A lot happened that year.
It's 68.
Yeah.
Was that the year that Bobby was assassinated? Bobby Kennedy? When he was running for president?
Yes.
That would.
That started a whole.
That's a cause for a riot right there. The assassination.
Well,
of
it
Bobby
was
Kennedy.
that was part of it because I don't remember his name, but the guy that they tried to replace him with wasn't as anti-war as Kennedy. People wanted Vietnam to be done because it was stupid.
Stupid. Right. Yeah.
You got to watch it. 1968.
All right, I will.
CNN. It's the same guys who did the 2000s and the 70s, the 90s.
Yes.
Nixon. Nixon. He really fucked up, man.
Yeah, he actually had some good policies.
Like he was probably one of the best Republican presidents.
Yeah.
And he just
He just tried to steal an election. In fact, he lost a previous presidential election.
wasn't it two?
I don't know if it's two, but he lost to Kennedy, right? And there's lots of data out there, lots of evidence to suggest that Kennedy cheated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And played kind of dirty.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
So, and Nixon didn't want to do that. Now, this isn't according to me. This was like a podcast I listened to.
Uh-huh.
But when he wanted to be president, he's like, fine, I'll play the game. But then he got caught. So, yeah, I know. He did say
you don't get caught, man. That's the biggest problem. Okay, with
I know.
cheating is
So
you gotta know how to not get caught.
All of his policies went down the drain, and now he's known for saying, when the president does it, it's not illegal. Yeah, that's
It's
his
just,
legacy.
yeah, man, that sucks. He might have ruined the Republican Party. He might have started going downhill
That's
right
when it
there.
started. Yeah.
And, yeah, man, Reagan, I don't know, that guy. I don't know.
I think it's been a long time, right,
Uh-huh.
since Reagan was president. But I think as time even goes further, we're going to see more and more that his policies were bad.
Yeah.
As more and more truth and evidence comes out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Voodoo economics. Speaking of
Wait,
war,
how the hell did we get there from Kanye?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
But
carry
talking
on.
about dumb wars,
Yeah,
we've been in Afghanistan for 20 years.
20 years.
And this last week or 2 weeks ago, Biden said that we're going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
All troops will be out by September 11th, kind of a symbol of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately, the Taliban says, we have won the war. America has lost.
Well,
I mean,
are they wrong?
he's not
or-
wrong. He's not wrong. If by winning the war you mean we were to take over Afghanistan and make it America too, the whole point was to take down Al Qaeda and
Right.
kill Osama bin Laden and weaken the Taliban. But anyway, yeah, there's just this one dude, Haji Hekmat, the Taliban shadow mayor in the
yeah.
Balkh district.
I don't get their whole. What's going on there? I don't understand.
It's the same thing that happened in Iraq. It's the reason that we have not taken out Bashar al-Assad in Syria,
Mm-hmm.
because when we take out a leader, even if they're bad,
Mm-hmm.
it creates this, which is a vacuum for all of these territory leaders to start their own jihad, basically, right? Their own religious war, ISIS.
Right.
That's I've thought about Syria a lot.
Uh-huh.
And why we've millions of families displaced,
Mm-hmm.
millions killed in horrible ways, the
Right.
barrel bombs and shit like that, chemical bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Obama's red line in the sand, right? That we would do something if he used chemical weapons, and then he did, and we didn't do anything.
Right.
And the only thing I can think of is we took out Saddam Hussein and it backfired.
I'll say
Bad. If we take out Assad,
it's just gonna be all over again.
so we leave these shitty, evil dictators in place. Egypt's still a mess, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard much about Libya, but I imagine that they're a mess. The Arab Spring, it didn't end well.
Why? So what is it about these countries or the people of these countries that cause this to happen? Like, is it just their mentality? Is it their beaten down cowardice? Like, what is it?
I think it's a power play, right? Everybody wants to have power, and citizens get caught in the middle. But every once in a while, citizens get rallied,
Right.
right? Which is what the Arab Spring was. Started in Tunisia. We saw protests in Egypt. In Tahrir Square, it was huge. So, but ultimately, when you have groups like the Muslim Brotherhood
Mm-hmm.
taking over, it would be like if half of Congress was killed and the president was killed, and
Okay.
and one of the group that won the power was
Don't say Ted Cruz.
the Mormon Brotherhood.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So
Speaking of Mormon Brotherhood,
I think religion.
Handmaid's Tale's
Oh
back
my
on.
gosh, dude! I know. Oh. I don't know. I mean, Islam by and large is a peaceful religion. So 1.3 billion Islam, right? Muslims in the world. So I'm not blaming it on Islam necessarily, any more than I'm blaming Christianity for the woes in the West and the amount of deaths throughout history
Right.
in the name of Christianity. But when religion and secularism get combined, when you have different religious beliefs trying to govern a people, it's never going to work.
That's what it is. Yeah, okay. Just like Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the answer is everyone should be the same religion, because that's what they're trying to do. Right?
No,
And it doesn't work.
That's
The point is to leave religion out of it.
yeah. Religion has no
Right.
place.
But
I think it's dangerous, very dangerous, to bring it into
Right.
into your politics. And I know there's tons of conservatives that would argue otherwise, but they would be wrong. And I try to see every side, but that is something I'm very, very strongly opposed to, pushing any religious agenda on
Right.
on your citizens.
and there's there's a case to be made because a lot of conservatives will claim that liberals aren't religious, which is just not true.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Like, sure, most atheists might be more left,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that the left is made up of atheists.
Right.
Right? What liberals are able to do that conservatives aren't for some reason is separate the sacred from the secular.
Right.
Right? They're able to take the two apart and say, well, we have standards as a country in terms of protecting life and rights, and then we have religion.
I find the idea that the Republican Party is a religious party just completely,
Oh, it's utter bullshit now.
completely out. Just
No,
there's
they have
just
no.
because you say you're religious does not mean you know how many people are just like
Listen,
no, I don't believe in God.
when your Christ-like attribute that your go-to Christ-like attribute is guns,
Right.
you're not a Christian, man. You know, that's your go-to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't espouse any actual beliefs of Christ. Sorry, prove me wrong. Listen. You might be a Republican, you might be a conservative who is a Christian, who's just not that involved.
Right.
What I'm talking about is the leadership in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me where they represent Christ. I'll wait.
I can't. Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Let me know. Send me a TikTok.
Well, Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham is closeted,
Is
and I
it-
feel bad for him. You know, because he can't. Like, it sucks.
Well, Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz is going to go to prison, which is it's horrible what he did if he did it.
Uh huh.
But it's just the best fucking news. I hated Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, he's kind of a piece.
Oh man, and his fake adopted son bullshit. You seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Man, for those of you guys who don't know, Matt Gaetz had a girlfriend back in the day who had a little brother. They were from Cuba. Cuba. And he kind of, took this kid in, took him under his wing, was
Mhm.
good friends with him.
Then he got him deported.
Yeah. He broke up with that girl but stayed close with this kid. He's Matt Gaetz is like 38, I think. And this kid
Looks
is
like he's 14.
and this guy now is 19. So, go back a few years. I think he was 12 when he met him.
Oh, okay.
So he took this guy under his wing and, just his mom died or something like that. Never referred to him as his son,
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
He gets into a little spat on the floor of the house with a guy.
Right.
About the lives of children of color and how their lives are more dangerous. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Gaetz goes off on this guy saying, are you saying that we don't know what it's like to raise children of color? And says, who the hell do you think you are? Like, he goes off.
Oh, right. I remember this.
And then the next day he tweets a picture of him and this young man who he took under his wing
Mhm.
and calls him his adopted son.
Mm.
And he's Cuban, so he's brown.
Aha.
All of a sudden he's his son.
Huh.
So that's Matt Gaetz.
I
in
wonder
a
what
nutshell.
what that kid thinks about the whole thing.
Dude, Matt Gaetz is hosed, man. Like, when you got Kevin McCarthy saying, hey,
Yeah.
maybe you should.
I don't know why he hasn't resigned yet. I also don't know why Governor what's his bucket hasn't resigned yet.
What governor?
Cuomo.
Cuomo? Yeah, that story kind of died, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should definitely probably resign.
He's not very democratic.
Well, I mean, his policies might be, but he's
He is clearly not.
I mean, for a number of reasons, not only for the sex abuse allegations, but for the nursing home debacle.
Right. Right.
I don't. It's really hindsight, right? Hindsight's always 20/20. He had thousands of New Yorkers dying every single day, but clearly there was a cover up he wasn't very transparent about. So, yeah, he should probably be gone.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Supreme Court, man, this is a good one. You'll like this. You will like this. The Supreme Court had a massive split. Even Gorsuch
no.
and Kavanaugh even disagreed on this one over what the word means,
Oh.
as in a. Okay?
A?
A.
Canada?
The letter no, the letter A as a word.
Ah.
Okay? The law this is about a deportation law. 1996 federal law that allows immigrants subject to deportation to apply to stay in the country if they meet various criteria, including that they had been continuously present for at least 10 years. The law stops that time from accruing once the immigrants receive a notice to appear before a deportation hearing,
Okay.
listing various kinds of information, including the nature of the proceedings and when and where it will take place. So, basically, you are allowed a path to citizenship if you can go unnoticed for 10 years. If you get sent a notice to appear, the clock stops. All right?
Okay.
The question in this case was whether the government had to provide all of the information at once, as in contained in one envelope, or could do so piecemeal. Justice Gorsuch, writing for the majority, said the statute's use of the article A in a notice to appear was crucial. To an ordinary reader, both in 96 and today, a notice would seem to suggest that a single document containing the required information, not a mishmash of pieces with some assembly required, he wrote, giving other examples. Someone who agrees to buy a car would hardly expect to receive the chassis today, wheels next week, and an engine to follow.
Unless it's a Tesla, then...
The decision means that Augusto Niz Chavez, an immigrant from Guatemala who entered the U.S. unlawfully in 2005, may apply to seek permission to stay. Mr. Niz Chavez received the required information in 2 documents in 2013, appeared at the hearing with specified in them with a lawyer, and had been ordered deported. Justices Stephen Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan also joined Gorsuch's majority opinion. In dissent, Bitch Kavanaugh accused the majority of wooden and pointless literalism that spawns a litany of absurdities. For example, he wrote, under the court's
Surprised he knows all those big words.
under the court's interpretation, the 10-year clock does not stop if the non-citizen receives the 2 separate documents on the same day but in different envelopes. Are you following this?
Yeah, I think so.
If you were ruling on this case and the law says you have 10 years and then you can apply to be a citizen unless you've received a notification to appear for a deportation hearing. If that notice came in two separate envelopes, let's call it different days. You got one day, and the next it said, like, please stand by for location and time. And the next week you got the location and time. What the majority is saying is, no, the law says a notification.
Okay. This is stupid.
I know. So here's where you get torn in the soul.
Okay.
Is you're like, no, I am pro immigrants. I want this guy to stay. However, your argument is ridiculous. I actually agree with Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
On this one.
I was gonna say that.
Seriously. So yeah, essentially,
what he said was correct. This is stupid.
yeah.
If I was on the court, that's exactly what I say. I'd sit back and say, guys, this is stupid. Can't we? Is there something else we can do more productive?
Right. So Justice John Roberts, Chief Justice Roberts, had a good way of putting it. I believe. This was actually still Kavanaugh. He was contrasting his opinion, though. He said, by contrast, it is common to submit a job application by sending a resume first and then references as they are available. When the final references arrive, the applicant has submitted a job application. Similarly, an author might submit chapters of a novel to an editor one at a time as they are ready. Upon submission, the final chapter, the author undoubtedly has submitted a manuscript. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, this is what the Supreme Court does.
I think this is a good argument for less justices.
This is so Bill Clinton. The definition of is, you know? Like, I see the point you're trying to make, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
This is a letter of the law, literally.
Uh-huh.
The spirit of the law, right?
Right.
So, in this one-off situation here, I actually agree with Justice Kavanaugh. However, I think that law's stupid, and I think that this guy should be able to stay. So
This is kind of a weird law.
yeah,
If you evade police for if you
if you never give the federal government your address for 10 years, then you'll have a chance
what
to
if
stay.
question? What if you came into the country? Wait, how can you prove that you were there for 10 years?
You hold a newspaper.
But what if I went to the country, got my picture with the newspaper, went back home for 10 years?
It has to be continuous. It
Yeah,
says
but
how do you prove it?
how are they going to know? What if I just get like
Pay
an
stubs.
electricity bill
Yeah.
and have it
I
mailed
have
to
a
me?
utility bill. It's got to. I don't know. I don't know the insides and the insides, the ins and outs of that. I just know that you have to be continuously present for at least 10 years.
Okay.
And even after 10 years, if you successfully make it 10, you still have to apply. And there's other criteria involved. But this was just one of them that his lawyer's like, he didn't receive a notice. He received multiple notices with different information on them. It's like Wayne's World. I don't even own a gun. So, good old Supreme Court giving us
surely there's something better they could
a
be
good time.
focusing their time on.
Speaking of the times,
Yeah.
this article's going to piss you off.
Well, I couldn't read it because I run out of
I'll give you my login.
a free.
This is about CEO compensation during the pandemic. Okay?
Oh, it's letting me look at it now. Oh no, it's not.
I'll just read you some of these lines
What
here.
if I cleared my cache?
Boeing had a historically bad 2020.
Yeah, I'll say.
Its 737 MAX was grounded for most of the year after 2 deadly crashes. The pandemic decimated its business, and the company announced plans to lay off 30,000 workers and reported a $12 billion loss. Nonetheless, its chief executive, David Calhoun, was rewarded with some $21.1 million in compensation.
That seems fair.
Norwegian Cruise Line barely survived the year with the cruise industry at a standstill. The company lost $4 billion and furloughed 20% of its staff. I don't know how they didn't furlough more, to be honest. That didn't stop Norwegian from more than doubling the pay of Frank Del Rio, its chief executive, to $36.4 million.
That makes sense.
Hilton lost $720 million, paid their chief executive $55.9 million. Here is the highest paid CEOs.
What? Why? Why did they make that much?
You're telling me. This isn't even pandemic related, right? This is bullshit anyway. But it's even worse when your company like, GE loses $10 billion and the chief executive still makes $74
How does
million.
Netflix even make enough money to pay 2 people that much?
Yeah, they have co-chief executives, by the way.
If I were the other one, I'd be like, hey, why don't you die so I can take your get paid $100 million a year?
So Elizabeth Warren had some stuff to say. She said, a tiny handful of people who have shimmied all the way to the top of the greasy pole get all of the rewards while everyone else gets left behind.
Yeah, I have a real problem with people getting laid off when the CEO is still making that much money.
Yeah.
There's no... I
Here's-
mean... Oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Here you go. Just to give you guys some perspective. The gap between executive compensation and average worker pay has been growing for decades. CEOs of big companies now make an average of 320 times as much as their typical worker. In 1989, the ratio was 61 to 1. For every $1 an average worker made, CEO made $61, okay? From 1978 to 2019, compensation grew 14% for typical workers. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It grew 1,167% for CEOs.
Jeez.
1,167% for CEOs.
What?
Yeah.
So, Boeing, what was that number? He still made how much?
He made $21.1 million, even though the company lost $12 billion.
And they laid off how many people?
30,000 workers. So, yeah, you could do some simple math there.
How much money does that pay?
Should we figure it out real quick?
And here, again, this has always been my problems with CEOs, and one thing I like about unions, I know unions have give and take, and we've talked about that before, but if that CEO quit,
Nothing would happen.
nothing would happen.
Right.
not a damn thing would happen.
There's
Nothing.
definitely evidence that when a good CEO takes over, there's anecdotal evidence. Lee Iacocca, saved General Motors, I believe it was. But yeah, a CEO leaving doesn't really.
If all your employees get up and walk out, then you're done.
Right.
So
So we want to do the math for this one. Let's see.
Well, I guess you could just do 300 or 30,000 divided by 36 million or whatever it is.
Let's see here. Let me just bring this over to here. How come I can't? Oh, there we go. What were the numbers?
They were laying off 30,000.
So, and we need the money though. 21.1 million. That is 211,000. That is 2.1 million. That's 21. So 2 point.
I feel like you have too many.
No. 2 point. So a comma. 110,000. 100. How come I can't do this math? 21.
That might be right.
Let's just start over here. Good grief.
Why don't you just Google it?
21,000. 21 million. That's 21 million right there. Okay. Divided by 30,000. $700 a piece.
Okay.
Does that sound right? There was another one that was more egregious though. Oh, it's later in the article. Hang on.
Still,
no, dude, there's one down
you
here.
could
It's
keep
Tenet Healthcare. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, AT&T lost a bunch of money and still paid their chief. Here we go. Tenet Healthcare, a hospital chain, furloughed 11,000 workers during the pandemic, but made $400 million in profit.
That's messed up.
So they made.
Right.
We were dividing the salary
right
of that CEO by the employees, right?
Right.
No, the Tenet made $400 million and still furloughed 11,000 employees. All right, but the part I wanted to share second most was this woman. Her name is Janice Kors. I want to say I don't know if this is her. That's not her, by the way. So don't have a bad taste.
People who are listening don't even know that we're looking at.
It's true, but I think I have this on video right now. Yeah.
No.
Janice Kors said, man, you're not going to believe it here. Boards were thinking, this isn't our management team's fault. This isn't the result of bad planning or lax governance. This kind of happened to everybody, Ms. Kors said. There was a sense in boardrooms that if, despite all this, they managed to deliver on the numbers, who are we to cut those payments off in a year when everyone worked their butts off?
Yeah, I'm sure the CEOs worked their butts off.
How can you say everyone worked their butts off when you've laid off 11,000 people? So
I don't know. I want to get in the head of these people and see how they think.
Yeah. She also said this. At the end of the day, CEOs end up getting rewarded for how they respond to these external occurrences. If you think about stores closing, furloughs, etc., CEOs are getting rewarded for making those decisions.
Right.
That's her logic.
CEOs don't do anything. They don't do anything.
Listen.
They're like the Queen of England. They're just a figurehead, man.
Imagine going home and being like, honey, I just got the biggest commission. Well, what did you do? I made the decision to lay off 30,000 people, and I made $50 million because of that decision. I just pack your bags. We're going to the yacht. Which one? I don't care. Right? This is stupid. So, I mean, once again, no one really knows what the answer is other than to tax the shit out of these people and start giving it to the poor.
I don't know what ground
anyone
would have to stand on to argue otherwise.
No.
I mean, if you got your average Republican or average person that leans to the right that would be against this kind of taxation, I don't know what ground they would have to stand on.
No.
Do they expect to become a CEO?
Yes.
Because that's not going to happen.
It's the American dream.
You know
dude.
how you become a CEO? You suck a lot of
Coke.
Coca-Cola, and
Yeah.
cocaine.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. None of these people are that smart. None of them really deserve to be there. You've been in countless businesses, and I've worked for
They're just
so
normal,
many companies.
They're
and I
normal
can tell
people.
you that all the people that get to the top, they're the same person.
They're
They
just
are
normal
just
people.
douchebaggy
Right.
people who know how to make friends.
They network.
And look, you can argue till you're blue in the face that that's not true, but
Well,
I don't know,
what was
man.
that stat? They make an average of 360 times. Was that what it was?
yeah.
Okay, so I would just like to ask anybody who's arguing for CEOs, are they actually working 360 times harder?
No.
Is the means of production the measurement? What's your measurement? Because Ben Shapiro wouldn't. He would argue that the risk is why they get paid more, that they took the risk, even though most CEOs of large companies
What
took
risk?
no risk.
What?
The only risk that somebody took was when they started the company,
Right.
right? So that person took risk.
CEOs.
CEOs aren't taking any
How do
risk.
they take a risk? That's the most ridiculous thing.
And his point was
They're
for,
still going to get paid.
right. His point was for like starting a company, like Jeff
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
Fine.
Took all the risk.
Yeah,
right?
sure. But he didn't build the company
And he still isn't
by
working,
himself.
He still isn't working 500 times harder
No.
than his people in America. I feel like most people agree that you should be paid for what you work. You know, like difficulty of job, necessity of job, how much you work. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
The risk is getting fired. And we all take that risk every day when we go in.
Right.
And, if we make stupid decisions, like if I decide to hide a male genitalia in a piece of artwork that goes out, then
Right.
I could get fired. It's
Right.
a decision I make. Whereas the CEO makes a decision to buy an aircraft or sell an aircraft,
Yeah.
and it loses a lot of money, then the shareholders have the right to bounce him out
Sure.
of there. But it's not a risk, man.
Yeah.
These people are still going to make whatever they're contracted to make,
Right.
unless maybe that's how they should be paid. It should be written in their contract that if you screw up, we get to take everything you lost out of your assets.
Right. Well, and it should be noted, most of these CEOs have salaries that are minuscule compared to their compensation total, right?
Right.
Their salary is like $200,000,
Right.
right? And the rest comes from stock. And
Right.
if the stock performs, that's how they get paid, because their stock value goes up.
Right.
And my answer to that is great. Why are you giving them so much fucking stock?
Right.
They don't have to have as much stock as you're giving them.
Why not give the employees some
Right.
stock?
Like, I understand your point. Your point is that they don't have cash assets, that they're not getting a paycheck for that amount.
Mhm.
But they still have that amount. Let's be real.
Right.
They could sell.
Right.
All they have to do is send a letter to the
Oh, my
SEC like 2 days before.
My CEO sold a bunch, and it made
Right.
my stock go down, and I'm kind of upset about it because I didn't sell at the same time. Now I'm down $200, and I'm just.
I like to do this every once in a while as well with
Yeah.
people who are listening.
Uh-huh.
Give them an exercise, right? This exercise is
I
I want
don't
you to
like
think about
exercising.
I want you to think about your cost of living and quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to think about the difference between if you had $30 million
Mm-hmm.
and $30 billion.
Oh.
Would your life be that different between 30 million and 30 billion?
I mean, maybe.
In what way?
I could buy more things.
You think you could spend 30 million?
I mean, yeah. Oh, look.
No,
Like,
sure, you could buy like 30 yachts.
yeah.
But that's not a lifestyle. That's not what I'm talking about. Right?
I could have my own, big jet. And, if I'm getting 30 million over every time, I'm talking about like every year, that's my salary
It's just
every
your
year.
worth. It's just your worth. The way that Bezos is worth.
That's different
100
because you could burn through 30 million if you wanted your own plane and all this stuff. I mean, if you're constantly getting 30 million, then that's a different.
No, I think you're missing the point.
Yeah.
Think of what you're returning on $30 million a year.
What do you mean?
How much is your return? Just off of the 30 million in interest.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true.
Right. My point is, your quality of life, and if you want to make that number higher, fine.
Right.
The point is to find the number at which it doesn't matter if we take all their fucking money,
That's true.
right? If you say, no, I'm entitled to 30 yachts, okay, fine. Would your life be that different between $100 million and $10 billion?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that different,
Right. I see what you're saying.
right? What do you think? Like, what's your opinion? Let's take it higher for you then, right? Let's say $1 billion.
Ooh.
Would your life be any different
No.
between $1 billion and $100 billion?
Oh, no.
Right? So we could take $192 billion from Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah.
His life would not change at all.
No.
He'd still have $1 billion, which is 1,000 million, by the way,
Right.
if we were trying to keep track of how much this is. And he would still have the exact same lifestyle.
I don't think there's an employee at Amazon that shouldn't get paid less than $60,000 a year.
At least.
I mean,
At least.
even to the lowliest.
I want to say, I can't remember where this guy was from. I think he was from Texas.
Uh-huh.
He owns a company. He was making like 1.1 million or something like that a year, and found out that one of his employees had a second job,
Right.
and it made him feel like shit.
Good.
So he immediately cut his pay to $70,000, and pays all of his employees $70,000 at least. And
But-
his company has like the highest morale in the country. People are owning houses. They're buying. You know what I mean? They're buying things like.
Yeah.
And he gets tons
So-
of shit for it from other CEOs
Yeah. Well,
because they're hoarding.
Can you imagine how stimulated our economy would be if they're just hoarding money.
Right.
They're just hoarding it.
That's the point. That's my point.
They're
Even if you
hurting.
have to- even if
this
you
is
have to-
hurting the economy.
Right. Even if you have to take the number to $1 billion, right? For
Right.
for people like you.
Sure.
I'm not saying that I couldn't burn through 30.
I just want Air Force One.
I'm not saying that I couldn't burn through 30 million.
Right.
I'm just saying that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But let's say it's $1 billion because
Well,
we have
c-
billionaires.
Let's say 350 million.
Is
Let's just go there.
Sure.
I'm comfortable with that.
So is your lifestyle? Imagine your lifestyle at 350 million.
okay.
You're making 12% interest every year, which is, I don't even know how much money.
It's a lot.
Like $3.5 million.
Yeah.
Is it any different if you're imagining that lifestyle? Picture the mansion, picture the yachts, picture the planes, picture the girls. Would your lifestyle be any different from there to 200 billion?
I don't know, but probably not.
I really don't think. Like,
I mean,
I don't know how it could be different.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what.
Like Floyd Mayweather carried around like $100 million with him wherever he went. Right.
Wow.
He was a boxer. He wasn't close to like Bezos or anybody.
Right.
Right. Like it's unbelievable. It's hard to fathom that amount of money, and that's the point when we talk about taxing the ultra wealthy. Even at what is Joe Biden proposing, like 2%
Yeah, it's not
or
a
something
lot.
like that? Or I think it was Elizabeth Warren. Wasn't her plan like 1 cent more on the dollar?
Yeah, it was something small. I don't.
My
yeah.
proposal is to take $190 billion from Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
That leaves him with $3 billion. I think he'll be okay.
I do not understand the need to hoard that much wealth.
No, there's no need. What are you going to do with it? It's not like he has 12 kids. It's not like he has a posterity he's going to pass it on to.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if he did.
If he did, he'd still.
Even the interest on $3 billion,
Yeah.
right? The interest on $3 billion he's
Even
making.
if he had 12 kids, he could still give them.
Right. He's making $300 million a year just off interest of
Sorry,
$3 billion.
he could give them just shares in Amazon. Which
Right.
whatever.
Right. I'm not saying I don't know the answer, other than to pass a law that says you're not allowed to have more than $5 billion.
Well,
Anything over that,
I think what we really need to see is just better people in the world. But
I agree. There is something weird though about my dad and I were talking about it because he's had a few friends throughout his life that have become multimillionaires, just wealthy, and he talks about them that they like. It seems like their goal is to get to like 1 million, right? They're like, if only I could get to 1 million.
yeah,
And they get to 1 million, you're like, once I get to 10, that'll be enough, right? And they get to 10, man, like maybe once I get to 25, and it just cycles up all the way to 200 billion, which is where Bezos is right now.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
You know, we probably should take a break.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we should probably be done.
We can be done. I don't care. Wait, no, this one's quick. This one's really quick.
We haven't even done random headlines.
How long have we been going?
Almost 2 hours.
Okay. I'm an hour 40. Hour 40.
Yeah,
so
almost 2 hours.
let me just ask you this one question, okay?
Okay.
In March, how many children do you think arrived at the Mexican-U.S. border in March?
4.
4. You're going with 4.
400.
You can't go over, so you gotta get close with going over.
Price
That's
is
the rule.
Right- Price is Right rules?
Price is Right rules.
Okay.
How many children traveling? Oh, sorry. How many children traveling alone across the Mexican border were picked up by authorities?
4,300.
19,000.
No. Wait. Am I the?
You won.
Was
You
there
won.
anyone else competing?
No, you won.
I was close
Yeah.
without going
You
over.
get to spin the wheel.
Oh.
I just want you to think about that number as we go to break.
19,000?
19,000, not just 19,000 children. 19,000 children traveling alone
Oh.
arrived in March. And then I want you to think about this number. The amount of asylum seekers that Trump lowered. He lowered the number of asylum seekers we were allowed to take in to 15,000.
Oh. So
Just think-
that's not enough.
Just think about that.
15,000 per year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. If we come back,
If you come back, really.
we
You
have
could split this couple days. Do
maybe we should.
No, I mean, they can.
Oh, they can.
Yeah.
Okay. When we
Listeners
come
can.
back, we have a few random headlines. We'll do them real quick because they're not that great.
Real quick, like.
And I don't know, whatever else we've got. Some of them are about monkeys and humans and
Chimera.
mass shootings and I don't know. Anyway, lots of happy stuff. Oh, and lighter news. I think I have some of that. When we come back.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Hey, if you're still here, thanks for being here. If it's the next day, thanks for coming back.
I don't know if I'd listen to this whole thing.
I don't know.
Have you ever tried to listen to the podcast?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, me too.
it's weird though.
It is a little strange. Like, I think I'd be more into it if I wasn't if I wasn't
But
part of it.
you know, if you don't want to listen, you wouldn't hear this. But if you are and you don't want to listen anymore, you can go to the Our Take Pod on TikTok and get snippets of what we talk about.
Yeah. I should help you with those.
Yeah.
Do I have access to that? I'm sure I do.
Yeah,
I
sure.
just don't remember how.
Password is
What normally happens is it just reminds me of a South Park episode I watched the other day, but it's a home security and it's going off. You know how they call and you're supposed to give them a password?
yeah.
And Cartman's like, the password is I love boobs. And the guy's like, you love boobs? No, it's I love boobs. Or you love boobs. And the guy's like, how did you know that? I don't know. Anyway.
Our alarm has a duress code.
Oh, what does that mean?
Like if someone follows you in to your house and they're like with a gun, like put in your code. You can put in duress code.
oh.
And it pretends like it turns it off but sends the police.
And it brings out lasers and neutralizes them?
It counts down, you duck, and it decapitates everyone else that's in the house.
It turns on the killbots.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of killbots,
Ooh.
you know how we talked about mermaids?
Yeah. When?
A couple months ago. It was part of the pandemic photos. And
Oh,
you know, we
yes.
found out that there was
The
a
mermaid convention.
similar to the stick horses. There's also people who mermaid.
It was
and
in Israel.
none of them are as attractive as Ariel. But
It
anyway,
was Israel, right?
I think so.
Right.
A new world record broken.
Okay.
You know, this site I look at, it's almost all they have is world records. More than 100 people donned swimming tails and plunged into the water at a Chinese resort to set a Guinness World Record for the largest underwater mermaid show.
Largest
Yet
underwater.
we can't have porta potty lighting shows. I don't get it.
Right.
The
Yeah,
hun-
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 110 divers wearing mermaid tails showed off their swimming skills in underwater acrobatics Wednesday at the Okay, yeah, that's the same thing. The event, organized by the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, the world's largest diving association, successfully set... What?
I just didn't know there was an organization.
Dude, there's an organization for everything.
Is this it? Is
There's
this it right here?
There's NAMBLA. I mean, if you can have National Man-Boy Love Association,
That's true.
you can have this.
That's true. Is this it right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone must have drowned, and they hit it. They covered it up.
It was organized to celebrate the resort's 3rd anniversary, and yeah, they set a world record. So all we need to do to break it, we need 111. No, because they had 110.
Okay.
So we need 111 mermaids, and
merman.
I don't know. I don't know if we actually have to do a show, like if it has to be choreographed, or if we can just flounder around.
Right.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Flounder from
Mermaid around.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you should know that Guinness revoked this record because of China's human rights issues right now.
No, they
kidding.
didn't. No way. No.
Guinness doesn't play by those rules. They don't care about genocide.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They just like beer. No, I'm just joking. A North Carolina boy is graduating high school. So that's news all on its own because of North Carolina. Not just joking.
You set yourself up. That was good. I like it.
Mike Wimmer, 12 of Salisbury Stake, North Carolina. It's just Salisbury. Will graduate Rowan Carbaras. What did I say? He's graduating from high school.
He's 12?
Yeah, he's graduating high school, and because of the pandemic, he took some extra classes and is also graduating community college with an associate's degree on May 21st.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. He's smart, I guess. Wimmer has a 4.0 GPA at the college.
Well, I should hope so.
It is a community college, and my GPA was like 2.7.
What if he was like 12 years old, graduating from college with a 2.1?
Hey, don't knock people with the 2.1.
No, I'm just saying,
joking.
Would it be news?
I don't know. Good question. C's get degrees. I don't know.
Right.
It doesn't matter. He has. How do you have a 5.45 GPA in high school? How is that possible?
I don't know, man.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
5.45? Jerking the teachers?
No, I didn't do that. They can't see me. I'm on the little screen. It's cool.
Okay. The 12-year-old said his lifelong interest in technology and robots, led him to create his own startup, Reflect Social, which aims to simplify how smart home technology works.
Wait a second.
So basically, this guy is
This child,
12-year-old,
got a LinkedIn profile.
Is going to build all the robots that eventually kill us all.
This is his website.
I'm surprised Elon Musk hasn't put a hit out on
For
him.
real, man.
What do you want, the website?
This is his website, Reflect Social, combining the Internet of Things with social media. Look at all these IoTs. Mike Wimmer, 12 years old, creative genius.
Should have aged himself in his picture a little bit.
These kinds of kids have been around for a while.
Right.
I want to find one that did this in 1995 and where they are now.
Oh.
Like homeless. They're just too.
Well, they normally are pretty awkward kids.
They're just too smart for the world. Like
that is possible.
Yeah. You're just depressed.
I don't know what phrase to Google to look that up.
Child.
Careful.
Child prodigy, where are they now? That's a new segment we're going to have. That's crazy, man. Mike Wimmer. Not just high school at 12. What grade are you in at 12? 6th?
Yeah, that's
7th grade?
Yeah, so he
6th and 7th grade?
should be in middle school. So is he smart, or are the rest of the kids just really dumb?
Well, like you said, it is North Carolina.
That gives him a competitive edge.
Right. They grade on a curve.
How was the Earth created? Jesus. Correct.
You, sir, getting promoted.
Hold on, I gotta find a Family Guy clip real quick.
Where is Greg Smith?
Who's Greg Smith?
He was a child prodigy. I literally Googled child prodigy. Where are they now? Carefully.
That word is way too close to another one.
Child prodigy.
You
now
gotta be careful.
Greg Smith is now 26 years old. Is still just as smart. He became a researcher at Mount Sinai's ICANN school? ICANN? I don't know. Studying stochastic genes. Huh. Whilst on the Oprah Winfrey show, the young man referred back to his earlier years at university where he only had good memories. What? Man, come on.
Hold on. Here's North Carolina's. What? Get out of here.
We now return to Carl Sagan's Cosmos.
Edited for rednecks.
I'm Carl Sagan. Just how old is our planet? Scientists believe it's
Hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Scientists have determined that the universe was created by a God. Big Bang. If you look at the bones of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it's clear by the use of carbon dating that
Mountain Dew is the best soda ever made.
Jesus, Asaurus Rex. Oh, man. I'm going to do some research on child prodigies.
Careful.
And come back to you.
Well, in the meantime, let me play this for you.
Yes. I love it.
Pig news.
Pig news.
There's been more and more pig attacks as of late.
They're on the rise.
And I actually just saw one today where this...
Interestingly enough, it's the same trajectory as police shootings, as pig attacks.
I don't...
It's just up and to the left. It's
I don't know where to go from there.
It speaks for itself.
There's this video I just watched on I guess it was either YouTube or something. Oh, it was the Australian guy that commentates. Anyway, this lady is in the mountains in the snow filming these wild hogs from far away. Like, she's pretty far away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like she's in any trouble. And then one of them starts sliding down the snow and comes right at her.
Like a commando attack?
Yeah. It's crazy,
Was
man.
it on its hind legs?
No.
Like snowboard style?
No. It was like rolling.
Oh, man.
Anyway, scientists have grown human muscle in pig embryos for the first time.
Wait. Didn't we just have monkey human?
No, we haven't actually talked about that. It's in the rundown,
Well, I know,
but
but
it's
okay,
there.
we'll talk about it next show.
Okay.
They put human embryos in pig muscle? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So, some parts of the human body, it says, are in a state of constant regeneration.
Right.
Liver cells, for example, are replaced every 300 to 500 days. Fingernails grow every day. But some organs do not. And we actually use some pig organs already.
Pig valves.
Yeah.
Their hearts are similar.
Let's see. I'm trying to get to the meat of this story here. The bacon.
Get to the bacon here. So keep in mind,
Yeah.
when they say embryo, that's a fertilized egg, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming if you're anti-abortion that you're opposed to this research.
Oh, this is tricky.
Is that a fair...
It's bacon, so it doesn't matter. Previous research demonstrated proof of concept approaches to growing human organs in pigs, or rather pig embryos. But Gary, whoever this guy is, says this research is the first to show how it could also be done with skeletal muscle.
Huh. Okay.
So basically, I personally think that the pigs are behind this, and they're not attempting to grow human organs in pigs. They're attempting to become more human-like.
Pigs are trying to get thumbs, is what's happening.
Yeah, and stand high on their hind legs.
We may have just stumbled onto something big.
Yeah.
We may have found an area
Uh-huh.
where liberal vegetarians and conservative anti-abortionists might come together.
To hate one thing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We may have found a common enemy.
You mean you're going to see MAGA and PETA at the same rally?
Yeah. MAGA PETA. PETA MAGA.
Make America great for the
People for the ethical
people.
treatment
Yeah,
of
I couldn't
animals.
remember what the P word was. Particularly
Right?
ethical treatment
I mean,
of animals.
I'm right here, I think.
Yeah?
Because a vegetarian or a vegan would have a very hard time with this topic, as would, someone like an evangelical.
Apparently there is some worry here.
What kind of, like a chimera worry? Like a
Yes, that is exactly what it says.
Yeah, that's always
But
the
there's
worry.
a worry that we're going to get a sentient human-pig hybrid.
Oh, can you imagine?
I can. I've seen them before. I mean, you got
They're in North Carolina.
You got Chris Christie.
I mean, that'd be weird, man. I think it would only get weird if they could talk.
Well, yeah.
Then it would get weird.
It would be weird regardless.
Well, if they couldn't talk, then they're just like a weird pig.
Yeah, but if they like stand up and have, I don't know, man.
We're close to chimera on so many levels. We have pig-human hybrids. We have monkey-human hybrids. But, we're far away. All they're doing is mixing things together to see what happens.
Oh, according to this, relax, pig-human chimeras have a safety switch that prevents sentience.
What does that mean?
I don't
It's
know.
called a bullet.
I guess.
That's what it is. We have a fail-safe. We got a 22 right here that will shoot it.
This is if you're if you're more curious about this, read more on it, because I just glanced at it and decided that
do your own due diligence. How about that?
Do your own research.
Do your own research. You can Google
See
it.
what's his name has to say on this now that he's out of jail. Oh no, that's not
Tiger King.
Alex Jones. No, Alex Jones didn't go to jail. Huh? It was his buddy.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then he got pardoned.
Roger Stone.
No, wall guy. He stole the wall money.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all the same.
I guess.
They're all chimera themselves.
You think they're all the same
person?
Like that Family Guy,
Yeah.
where Rush Limbaugh is actually Lars Aldrin and Fred Savage.
I just had
an orgasm.
I just had a human. I just had a real human moment that I don't know how to feel about.
Okay.
When you said the name
Yeah.
of the late Rush Limbaugh,
Yeah.
I actually didn't feel anxiety.
Oh, because he's dead?
Yeah. And now I don't know how to feel about that.
Well,
Like I'm glad he's dead.
you could still have some anxiety because Tucker Carlson's still
Dude,
alive,
man,
and he's
fucker.
actually way worse than Rush Limbaugh.
He is. Did you see his thing on masks?
Yeah.
He said on TV, everything he says is on TV, but he said on TV that wearing a mask outside is the same as a man exposing himself.
Yeah.
i.e. pulling his penis out is the same as wearing a mask outside.
I don't understand how anyone watches him and takes him serious. I don't understand how you couldn't think he's playing like a Colbert character.
You know when on Liar Liar when he's like, I've had better.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying it to himself.
Uh-huh.
I feel like Tucker he was brushing his teeth that night and he's like exposing himself. That's so good. It's the same thing. I can't believe I said that out loud.
Oh, he must be playing a character, right? Like this has got to be the things we should pull up clips from the old Colbert Report
For real.
and see how similar they are,
Yeah.
because the things here is saying right now, like stop people wearing a mask and tell them you don't feel comfortable, and
Right.
get violent with people who are wearing masks. Like
That's
what?
unreal,
What
man.
the hell is your problem, man? What are you talking about?
I thought you were all about my body.
I thought it was about law and order.
Yeah, if I want to wear a mask, what's it to you? You know? Whatever, man.
It's I don't know. Anyway, I honestly I gotta stop listening to Tucker Carlson stories because it just makes me so.
He is.
I don't know about angry. It just makes me
He's so
nervous or
like,
sad.
It
or
just keeps getting worse, though. Is the problem? It's
someone
so
needs to
unbelievable.
take him out.
Yeah, it's so unbelievable. I don't know how. It's just on all the levels. Like, how are executives watching it, going, "Yeah, I mean, we're losing sponsors, but yeah."
Yeah, I don't understand how.
And he's a trust fund kid, right? Like,
yeah,
he doesn't need a job.
right.
Like his dad was very wealthy. He was a liberal ambassador to the Seychelles. That's where Tucker grew up, by the way.
Huh.
He was raised by a liberal ambassador to the Seychelles.
Wow.
Somehow became
Must have rubbed him the wrong way.
this conservative fuck that doesn't just says the most. He's just always.
I just
trying
hope one day he's doing one of the stories and he's just like, I can't do this. I can't do this
Right.
anymore. This is too crazy.
Yeah.
Right? This is too much.
Like, no one's gonna buy this. Yeah. And then producer's like, I don't know, man. They bought the whole penis mask thing. Like,
the whole gypsy thing.
yeah, just crazy.
The whole dude, he's just the things he says.
Unbelievable.
He's anyway. What else are we talking about?
Is that your last random headline?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know how I like to end the show on horrible notes.
Yeah, I do. My fave.
I was looking up mass shooting statistics because it seems like it's been a rough year. Does it not?
Rough month.
Yeah.
Most of them happened.
So
I find it odd that one started and then they just started happening all the
Right.
time.
Every agency that keeps track has different metrics, right?
Uh-huh.
Some are like 3 or more dead, not including the gunman. Some it just is injured,
Mhm.
right? So I found this Wikipedia page where a guy keeps track, and he kind of amalgamates all of the different criteria,
Now, for our less intelligent viewers,
puts together.
can you define that word?
He
I
put-
know what it means, but I just want to make sure.
He puts together all the data,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Which basically means that this is a count of mass shootings where 4 or more people are injured,
Okay.
including the shooter. Okay, so I had you guess on the 19,000 children thing, right? Just because that number's so outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
How many mass shootings where 4 or more people have been injured do you think have happened in the United States this year?
19,000.
Like, I was blown away because I found one article that was like, we've had 20 mass shootings this month, but it was counting like 4 or more deaths, I think.
Right.
So do you have a guess? Did you look? Oh, it doesn't show. It doesn't show it the number there.
It seems like a lot. 472.
No, but it's just as outrageous. 186.
That's not just as outrageous. I kind of feel like I ruined your bit because now
No.
people are like, oh, it's only 186. I mean, I was thinking it was
It is what? It's May 2nd.
right.
So we're not even halfway through the year. There's been 186 shootings in which 4 or more people were injured.
They were injured. They'll be okay. So yeah, I just yawned.
Because after I was reading this, I was thinking like, well, how would I measure it if I was a researcher?
Right.
And I'm actually I would go with injuries because, like, what
Because you don't hear about them on the news.
Yeah, well, someone's still being shot,
Right.
right? Like, you don't count because you got shot in the leg, you didn't die.
Right.
Like,
That's what I've been saying for years.
Yeah, it still counts in my opinion.
There was still a crazy person, is what you're getting
Right.
at.
Yeah, and I'm sure I could sort this by deaths as well to see. Let's see. How come I can't figure out how to do that right now?
I hate Excel.
This is Sheets.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Filter. Anyway, I just end the show there.
Well, how does that compare to other years? Are we higher or lower? Like, and don't count last year. That doesn't count.
That's true. Last year was low because everyone was stuck at home,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the leading theories as to why this year has been going crazy. But that's a good question. I actually don't know. I'll find out.
Because maybe it's way less. You know, you're getting down here, but maybe things are starting to look up.
I don't think so, but that's just, that's just my gut. So I will look. I will get back to you on the next episode.
We got a lot of those going today. We got to keep track of them.
We'll have to listen to this one and find out. Why can't I figure out how to fucking sort this? It's usually so easy. I must be tired.
Well, we have been on recording for like 4 hours now,
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Anyway, 186. What did I say? 185 mass shootings with 4 or more people injured. However you want to view that.
So how many total victims then? Maybe I was closer to right.
Okay, let's look at that. I can find that. Total number of injuries or casualties, if you're using that word.
472.
935.
Still close as
Yeah.
going over.
That includes deaths or injuries. All right. Anyway.
Probably should have led off the episode with that.
Well, I thought I've had a good time today.
Yeah, we talked about a lot. We should, you know what? We should have like a reflection song at the end.
Yeah.
Like, here's what we learned.
Or it's just like ethereal piano music.
Time travel and mass shootings.
Ethereal piano music, and we just say topics. Time travel, texting, SNL, Elon Musk.
Wow.
Kanye West.
We talked about a lot.
Chimera.
If you're still with us.
The Taliban. Anyway.
Taliban, what is that about? Tally my banana.
I have no idea.
Taliban.
I mean, I get it. Yeah.
But why?
But I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate you. Find us at The Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. That is at The Our Take Pod, or go to theourtakepodcast.com. You can find all the links there. Please tell your friends, leave us a rating, share the show, share your favorite clips. For episode 110, I'm Brian.
Oh, I'm Spencer. I'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. I don't know. Maybe it'll just be me.
Might be you.
Probably. No.